than the US is on Canada. And whatever people are saying, yeah, we would get hit a lot quicker because we don't have, we send pretty much sell everything to the US as Canadians. We don't have a lot of other customers. So we were going, why did we not ever think about this? Or why did we become so reliant on just one customer? I understand there is frustrations on really concerned that we were going to get hit with tariffs, and it looked like we were going to get hit with tariffs. Mind you, if we were hit with tariffs, the situation would have really affected Canada a lot more than it would affect the US, because guess what? Canada is relying more upon the US. Welcome everybody, welcome back to Canadian CMI YouTube channel, and this past week has been an insane week for US and Canada trade relations and overall relations, I should say. It's been a crazy week, even by the crazy standards. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be talking about Canada and US tariff wars that were happening this week, how the situation was going to get out of hand, but then we ended up in a pause. So don't go anywhere. Keep watching till the very end. We're going to unpack this whole thing that happened in the past week for the audience members so that they can understand what has happened so far. So if you don't know me, I make videos about everything in Canada. I talk about geopolitics, economics, how politics impacts Canada and the world in general. I talk about all these affairs, and I also do some travel vlogs in Canada. So if you're interested in everything Canadian, well, make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and I assure you, you're going to have some good content. Those people that missed out, I'm sure no one did, but in case you did, Trump was saying that he wants to make Canada the 51st state unless they, unless they agree to, reducing the, trade deficit that they have, which again, is an important point. It's not really a trade deficit. I've talked about this. And also he was talking about fentanyl production, fentanyl coming in, illegal migration, securing the border. So Trump has said that, we're going to hit you with tariffs no matter what, and that was the situation. So till February 1st, everyone was, everyone was waiting in anticipation of what would happen. And true to his word, Trump said that we will hit you with tariffs. And on February 1st, he said that we will hit Mexico and Canada with 25% tariffs and 10% on China, by the way. Now, that sent, the whole Canadian government into a tizzy, and they were trying to resolve it. And nobody knew what was going to happen, but people were like, what if this happens? And Canadians were actually really concerned that we were going to get hit with tariffs, and it looked like we were going to get hit with tariffs. Mind you, if we were hit with tariffs, the situation would have really affected Canada a lot more than it would affect the US, because guess what? Canada is relying more upon the US. Now on Monday, the past Monday, Trump raised a new grievance with Canada about not allowing US banks in the country. So people were wondering what was happening, and this was on the 3rd. Remember, Trump has said on February 1st that they will hit Canada with tariffs on Tuesday, which is February the 4th, a day before tariffs were going to get hit. This is what Trump said. He said that they don't allow our American banks into the country, and that's another thing. And basically what he was trying to refer to is the fact that most of the banks in Canada are Canadian owned to ensure financial independence, and Canada's banking industry is a monopoly. So yeah, he said there were two calls on Monday, February the 3rd. Two calls made by Trudeau. The first call in the morning that Trudeau made to Trump. It's interesting to know what the contents of those calls were, but this is what Trump said, that he raised the banking issue with Trudeau in the morning call, and suggested he wanted to see something in any trade deal. Trump kept saying that he wants a fair deal. Now, then there was the second call. In the second call, that was held between the two leaders, Trump and Trudeau, on Monday. They came up with, Trudeau said that Canada is implementing, the call went well in the sense that Trump agreed to pause the tariffs for 30 days, not remove them, And in a social media statement, Trudeau later came out and said that later on Monday, said that Canada is implementing a $1.3 billion border security plan, which by the way was already unveiled in December, and it includes reinforcing the border with choppers, surveillance equipment, technology, people, and so on and so forth. And the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau of Canada, said that proposed tariffs will be paused for 30 days while we work together. And he also said that another $200 million to back a new intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl. Canada will appoint a new fentanyl czar to basically control the flow of fentanyl, and they will list drug cartels as terrorist organizations, which I think is the right idea. Guess what? Drug cartels operate as, they do kill people, so they should be listed as terrorist organizations. And this deal was quite similar, Trudeau announced, to the one that Trump and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum had on Monday, which also, by the way, Mexico also did not get hit with tariffs. Trump was having calls with Trudeau and the Mexican president, and for Mexico, he said the same thing: I'm going to pause it for 30 days. Now, Trump responded that he's very pleased with this initial outcome, and he will be pausing the tariffs for 30 days and waiting to see whether a final economic deal with Canada can be restructured. So now, here is my concern. Now that we have a 30-day pause and we're implementing those things, what happens after 30 days? I mean, the threat of tariffs is still not done yet. We might still get hit with tariffs. And, it really boggles my mind is that why did we not ever think about this? Or why did we become so reliant on just one customer? I understand there is frustrations on even on Canadian side that why is America doing this, and I want to talk about that as well a bit later. But first, what I want to say is that because of all these measures and this going back and forth, finally we're going to see the border getting secured. We're going to see drug cartels being listed as terrorist organizations, because guess what, Canada does have drug cartels, believe it or not, and these things are going to get fixed. And what this has done in Canada, and this is what I want to talk about in this video, is that it has generated a sense of patriotism, a sense of self-reliance. It has awakened Canada. Maybe. I'm hoping it has awakened Canada. And I can see that a lot of the posts in the past week on social media have been about, hey, let's booing in national anthems, booing the American national anthem in sporting events, calling Americans, calling out Trump, saying, giving out negative statements about the Americans in general. Canadians are pissed. Canadians are disappointed. Canadians are angry. And I can understand that emotion. As a Canadian, I have to say this to my American viewers, is that one thing that I'll agree with on Canadians on this one is that Canadians are feeling a bit perplexed and baffled. You know why? Because these measures that you're discussing, we should have done them from day one. But the fact is that even after doing them, we're still worried whether we will get hit with tariffs or not. So yes, and a very small amount of fentanyl was coming in from Canada. Now that doesn't excuse the fact that there should be no fentanyl production whatsoever, but a very small amount was coming in from Canada. So the response was not proportional. That is what some Canadians are saying, that we Canadians have fought with Americans in the previous wars. When 9/11 happened, Canada stepped in. World War happened, Canada stepped in. Canada's always been there with the United States. So Canadians were feeling a bit baffled, and me too. I wasn't feeling good about it. I understand where the Americans are coming from, and I've had a lot of comments on my channel from Americans and Canadians arguing both sides of the equation, and I welcome all those comments. Let's always keep it respectful, but I welcome everyone's comments on this channel. And write down in the comments, what do you guys think about all this back and forth that happened between Trump and Trudeau in Canada and US and the tariffs getting hit? What are your thoughts? Put down in the comments. I'd love to hear them. I'd love to read them as well. Now, in the backdrop on Monday, there were a lot of things happening. Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, was going to cancel a $100 million contract with the internet satellite firm called Starlink, which is owned by Trump ally Elon Musk. Now, the deal is back on for now. Of course, the British Columbia Premier David Elby was also going to be pausing all retaliatory measures against the U.S. But initially, they were going to remove all American wines and beer from the stores in British Columbia. That was one of the things that they were going to do. So if the U.S. was going to hit us with tariffs, we were going to hit them back. But here's the problem. it would have affected Canada much more negatively than it affected the United States if the tariff war had continued, if there was no pause. Now, what's the good thing that has happened from this is finally Canadians are waking up to the reality that we need more manufacturing in Canada, that we need to have more economic activity in Canada, we need to have a diverse set of customers, we need to be more cognizant of the fact that if America is doing something, we need to make sure that we are always in agreement with them on the border, especially because we share a huge border with them. And also Canada, it's been a kick in the behind for Canada, hasn't it? I mean, why the hell don't we trade with other countries in the world? Why are we only reliant upon the United States? We should probably be dealing with Europe as well. We should be dealing with Africa, with South America. We should not just be reliant upon the US. Now, I'm not saying that we should become enemies with the US. So my American viewers, please don't think that I'm calling for a tariff war against the US. I'm not. I'm just saying, as a Canadian, and I think Americans can appreciate this, is that we should also be looking out for our own people, and we should always have a good relationship with America. Canada, US have had a long-standing relationship, and I hope it gets back to the point where we can have disagreements, but we're always in agreement on the major issues, and we respect each other's sovereignty. We're mindful of that. And to my American viewers, I need you to understand where Canadians are coming from as well. When this booing has been happening in stadiums, Canadians are feeling a bit baffled. They're feeling a bit betrayed, because Canadians, we are not your enemies. We were together with you. We also gave lives in different wars with the United States in support of the United States. So please understand where Canadians are coming from. So big takeaway here. Canada, the tariff threat is not done yet. In 30 days, we could still get hit with tariffs. So Canada needs to come out with, make sure that it's agreeing to the deal that they have with Trump, which it seems like we are. That's the good thing. But yes, the tariff threat is on pause now. Let's see what happens. Canadian manufacturing, Canadian companies should be thinking long term now, and especially the government of Canada. Trudeau, I got a message for you. The Parliament is still suspended. What are we doing? We need the proper leadership in place, and this is going to be my final point in this video, is that we need the proper leadership in place that can take Canada to a better place, that can make Canada better. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. That's it from my side. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, I hope I was able to give you a good timeline of the events that have happened in the past week in terms of the US-Canada trade war tariff situation. I hope I was able to take you through all the events that have happened. And that's it from my side. Until next time, bye-bye from Canadian. See ya, and keep on trekking.